Welcome, Kiss Army, to episode 17 of the Kiss Army Things podcast. This is the first episode of 2022. We're discussing all things new, all things Kiss.
That's right.
In the Kiss world, I'm Xander.
I'm Jeb.
Finally back at it. Feels so good to be back sitting behind the table talking all things new, all things Kiss, at least as much as we can fit in this episode.
Yeah.
Of course, we're sipping on that Gene Simmons Moneybag Soda.
Delicious.
Thank you, everybody, really quick, for over 200 subscribers. That's really awesome. We really appreciate it. Last time we filmed was for the Kissmas episode and the Kissmas giveaway. We had, I think 190. Now it's over 200. So thank you, everybody, for that.
Much appreciated.
Hopefully everybody had a good Christmas season, good New Year. We're finally here to talk all things Kiss. So first of all, I got this new shirt.
Badass shirt, by the way.
That I love. I finally get to wear it. This came actually right before Christmas, so it's the Elder shirt. For those, I'm assuming everybody can see it.
Supporting the new line of the Elder merchandise from the official Kiss online store.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was tempted to get it, and then I feel like since you got it now, then I can't get it, but it's whatever.
Yeah. And I've never seen a shirt with, of course, images of this era on of the band on the shirt.
Yeah.
So it's got the Japanese lettering for Music for the Elder, so it's just an awesome shirt. I thought it was really cool.
Yes.
All right, so what are we doing first?
Well, first I thought we'd try out a new sort of segment right at the beginning of each episode. We're going to just try it out, see how it goes, and basically what we're going to do is share one or two piece of Kiss media, whether it be an album or a video, a bootleg, or anything musical that we've been enjoying lately since our past episode.
Basically, what's been hot?
What's been hot? What's been on your turntable? What have you been really getting into? And so,
cool.
If you want to start,
sure.
If you have anything to share.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to go with the Kiss World compilation, which seems kind of left field.
Okay.
Because there's a bunch of Kiss compilations, a bunch of Kiss Greatest Hits, releases out there.
Yes.
So the Kiss World compilation, I think, came out in 2017, right around there, when they were doing the European Kiss World Tour.
Yes.
And so the reason why that one is my choice for, and what's been hot lately, because I have been spinning it lately, and the reason why is because it's one of those that you listen to once or twice, and then it just whatever.
It's a part of your collection.
It's one of the it's one of the collection, but it's one of the many greatest hits out there.
Yeah.
But I actually really enjoyed it because it actually very well represents the entirety of Kiss. It has every member of Kiss,
True.
Past and present, on the album, even people like Bob Kulick and Anton Fig,
yes.
who weren't actual members but still contributed to the catalog of Kiss.
Yeah.
And so I just like the fact that it's that well rounded in that respect. The fact that I was listening to it and it has a pretty unique set list or track list. Crazy Nights is on it. I think it has
Unholy is on
Unholy.
that,
I'm a Legend Tonight. Of course, it has Heather Hallelujah and Modern Day Delilah from the current lineup. So
True.
Just a really well-rounded Kiss greatest hits release. And I was listening to it going, this is really cool because every member of Kiss is on it in some way, shape, or form.
Even one nice little package.
Even like Bob Kulick and Anton Fig. So yeah. So what's been hot for me? Kiss World.
I appreciate that because I've never really sat down and thought about how inclusive that was, and now that I think about it, if I had to recommend a compilation to anyone who's getting into Kiss, that would probably be the perfect choice because, as you said, it's representative of all eras and all members, which is really nice.
That one or Kiss 40. Kiss 40 was really good too. Very all-encompassing.
Yes,
much more in-depth as far as Kiss catalog goes.
I forgot about Kiss 40.
Kiss 40
seems like I feel like in my mind I might get those two mixed up for some reason.
Kiss 40 and Double Platinum. Always Double Platinum, but now Kiss 40 is also, those two are like my favorite.
Double Platinum is amazing.
Those are my two favorite Kiss compilations to go to.
Stellar.
So, what about you though? What's been hot for you? What have you been listening to? What have you been watching?
For me, other than Love Gun, representing on my t-shirt here, because I listened to that on the way here just because I was wearing a shirt and I thought I listened to it. But that's not what I've been really digging into.
Okay.
And for me, it's been more broadly the 90s Kiss era, which is not unusual for me, as that is my favorite Kiss era. But specifically Carnival of Souls, watching, listening to the album, watching Bruce Kulick's videos on YouTube, because if anyone, and you should know, that Bruce Kulick makes his own content on YouTube, and he's done a couple breakdowns of the songs from Carnival of Souls. And watching those, I'm kind of obsessed with it.
For sure.
I've been learning some of the songs on guitar as well, and appreciating how seriously different and amazing that era was. that short-lived
awesome.
period. And if I could, if I had ever the opportunity to interview Bruce Kulick, I would be tempted to dedicate the entire interview just to that one album because of how much I enjoy it, and I really would like to pick his brain about the writing process, as that he seems to be really the one who's, you know, I guess doing a lot of the writing and stuff like that. So for me, it's been 90s Kiss abroad, but really Carnival of Souls. And if you haven't listened to it in a while because that's not what you're into, try and listen to it again. It's there's a decent amount of variety on that album, surprisingly. You got the heavy stuff, there's, you know, acoustic stuff, and some really, really good music on there. So.
Yeah, I think In the Mirror has to be my favorite off of that album. It's just a really good, solid track. Eric's got a nice little drum break in there.
It does kind of stand
riff,
out.
Paul's vocals.
Yeah, it stands out on that album because of how oddly like upbeat and energetic it is, and almost happy sounding, although it's not quite. Just really interesting arrangements on that whole record, and I love it.
Very good album.
Yes.
So yeah, cool. All right, I can't wait to check in next time and see what else has been hot and what we've been checking out. And let's move on to some of the more current things in the Kiss world, because the thing that's been talked about the most recently that we haven't had a chance to discuss yet,
right.
At least here on this podcast and really together, is the new Off the Soundboard was announced. You texted me and said, "Hey, new Off the Soundboard."
Yep.
I immediately looked it up.
Pre-ordered it, presumably.
Pre-ordered it on site as usual.
Yeah.
So the new Off the Soundboard will be coming out March 11th, 2022. It is, of course, the Virginia Beach show that Kiss played July 25th, 2004 on the Rock the Nation tour.
Correct.
When you said that, I was immediately excited. Number one, new Off the Soundboard was announced. They are going to continue the series.
Yeah.
Number two, I was excited because it's the current Kiss.
Yep.
And then I kind of started thinking a little bit more in depth. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm pretty sure that was one of the shows for Rock the Nation. And I looked into it, and it's correct.
Yeah.
So I guess we're going to talk about the elephant in the room. You know, how do you feel personally that this next Off the Soundboard is just going to be a already released release? I mean, it was one of the two shows used for Rock the Nation. All of these shows on that tour were on CD for the instant live, kind of like the flash drive we got on Hottest Show on Earth.
Correct.
They did the very similar thing on that tour. So some fans already have this. I mean, so when you hear that, what was your thoughts?
My initial thought, and you briefly mentioned it there, was, okay, I'm glad they're doing another one. Mm-hmm. Like, that was my first thought, before even considering what it was. I thought, okay, awesome, I'm glad the first one did well enough that they were, you know, that they saw fit to, you know, continue the series. I was like, okay, that's amazing. Well, let's see what it is. Okay, Rock the Nation. I'm thinking, okay, that to me is a mistake.
Okay.
Not just releasing it, because I will buy it, I will listen to it. A lot of people are going to buy it and they're going to dig it, but I think it was too early in this line of releases of the Off the Soundboard, you know, thing. Because I feel like with the first one, there was a really obvious appeal of that sort of this era of the band that was so short-lived.
With,
you know,
with
Eric and
Ace.
the lineup, I was like, that right there was, you know, it was like the golden thing about it.
Yeah, that was the reason.
That was the selling point. I thought, okay, well, what's the selling point on this new one, considering that, you know, 2004, it's an incredibly well-documented period in Kiss, being that they had the live things available for every show. And I was like, okay, so that's strange. However, it is a killer set list. So that, I feel like, for me, is really the selling point, apart from this being Tommy and Eric really joining together as the new Kiss, as the start of what Kiss is for us today.
Yeah.
And so initially I was like, okay, I'm happy, I'm going to buy it, I'm going to listen to it, I'm going to enjoy it, because I know this lineup's going to sound fantastic, you know. Yeah. And on that tour, they were fantastic. You can watch the DVD and just think, wow, these guys are, you know, they're bringing the heat. So I'm super excited to hear it. But I feel like for the second release in this line, they should have done something maybe to outdo the first one, which may not have excited that many people. Maybe the Eric and Ace thing isn't as exciting as something they could have done from the 70s. So I feel like with the first one that I thought was really good, the second one should have completely outshined it. And I feel like we just haven't gotten there yet. Mm-hmm. But again, I haven't yet pre-ordered it, although I will, and I will get it on CD. And I'm going to love it, but those are my initial thoughts. And curious what you thought.
I mean, I definitely share some similar thoughts. I definitely thought that it wasn't, the next step up, like you said. It wasn't going to outshine or outdo the first one, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Right.
I thought it was also kind of interesting that they even chose the current lineup, period, dot.
Yeah, that's
because,
very true.
I mean, even though I love the current lineup, you love the current lineup.
Of course.
We know plenty of folks that also love the current lineup.
Yeah.
For a lot of some of the older Kiss fans, it's not the most favorite lineup.
Right.
So to have a release from that era did seem kind of
it's strange.
Kind of strange.
It's strange.
But for me, the selling point would have to be the set list.
Yeah.
And I think that's really been, the strong point of this current lineup as a whole has been, here's what we can do, here's what we can play. Now, the downside to this is that some of the songs that they played on this tour, you're not getting on this release, such as All the Way, Love Her All I Can,
Parasite,
which was on Rock the Nation.
Yes.
They must have played it in Washington, D.C., but they didn't play it on this show.
Virginia.
So that's going to be missing from this, which I think is kind of...
I feel like that
Parasite is one of the strongest songs they have live.
Slight letdown.
Whether it's a hit or not, whether it's a classic or it's a number one single, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Musically, it's a very strong song. You're missing that. You're missing All the Way. They even, at one of these shows, at least one of these shows, they played I Pledge Allegiance to the State of Rock and Roll from Psycho Circus.
Wow.
That's a hard title for me to say, but yeah, that song from Psycho Circus, they actually tried that and played it. And
that I would have paid for.
And I would have paid that too. I would have paid for the ticket in person, and I would have paid for, to see it on this release. But we're not getting that.
We're not gonna split.
However, we are getting songs like Making Love, which don't appear on most Kiss live albums. You're not going to find it in Kiss's set list today, aside from the Kiss Cruises.
And I love that as a live song.
It's an amazing song, a great song. Of course, again, in 2004, the current lineup was in top form.
Fire, yes.
Songs like Tears Are Falling, which is on.
Come back in the set list.
Which is on this in the Road Tour set list. It was on, I think, Kiss Rocks Vegas, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, but. Again, the current lineup playing songs that you don't normally get to hear. She is a song that
That's an all-time favorite Kiss song.
I think that song should be played live today.
Yes.
They should interchange out She with Let Me Go Rock and Roll, just because two great classic songs from the 70s that you extend to 8 minutes live, whether it's Let Me Go Rock and Roll with the added bass stuff, or She with the
100,000
years. Coda at the end. 100,000 Years is another one.
The drum solo.
One of the big selling points here is Unholy in place of God of Thunder.
Yes.
That is something that I wish that the current lineup would try more today. I wonder if they were pulling out a lot when the current lineup first started.
Exactly.
And I wonder if that was their intention, was to play all of these different songs. And then over the course of playing them and trying it out, they realized that the crowd just doesn't respond.
Yes.
Even though folks like you and and maybe even you watching or listening,
we
might go crazy for these songs, but you have thousands of others who are using it to update their status, go to the bathroom, or hit the merch line or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you see them play a lot of the same songs, Love Gun, I'll Never Love You, Black Diamond, Shout Out Loud,
Cold Gin,
Dr. Love. It's the same set list over and over again. Yeah. But the current lineup has been really, really good at sprinkling in several of these novelties and rarities in there. And it started with this tour.
Absolutely.
I didn't even realize they played Psycho Circus on this tour because we saw them the tour before in 2003. World Domination Tour, which was our first tour. Somehow we missed Rock the Nation. We were too young to buy tickets ourselves, but even Dad didn't even get tickets. We didn't even hear about it.
Right.
I don't think I even knew about Rock the Nation until maybe 2009.
Right.
Years after it happened.
Yeah.
So, but to hear Psycho Circus on this...
in that era.
I want to hear that.
Yes.
Because when they brought that back in 2013 on the Monster Tour... and started playing it, and I think it became the opener on the 2014 tour. I was like, now here we go. Because that's a song that I think is one of my top 10 favorite songs. I think it's just, our favorite Kiss songs. It's a song that goes over so well live. Yes. So I'm sure most folks who either saw this tour or already have these instant lives, maybe they've heard Psycho Circus from this release. I have not, and I can't wait. I can't wait to hear Psycho Circus. I can't wait to hear Unholy.
I think Unholy for me is like, if I had to choose one, that and She.
Yeah, She is really good.
But I was like, that is what I want on a, on a live CD such as this, in a bootleg type fashion. Because those, I mean, She on Alive?
She is on Kiss Alive.
I was gonna say, so since then it's been long enough to where that's, to me, is like a huge deal that they would play.
It needs to be
and release on a CD. I'm like, that's what I want.
It's a song that I'm surprised it doesn't get played more often, because I feel like it's one of those songs, like I said, kind of like Let Me Go Rock and Roll, where it may not be a number one hit or a single, but it's recognizable enough.
Yes.
To where it's going to get crowd reactions, and even if you are a fan who's more casual and don't know it, musically you can still have a really good response to it.
Yeah.
So again, for me, this release is all about the music. I cannot wait to get this and hear the music. I think they're doing a special edition green opaque.
Yeah, similar to the first one they did with the white.
Yeah, and I think the green is much better.
That's cool.
It's much better looking, from what I can tell, than the white marble, which sounded cool and then just looked kind of whatever.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and I did get the green.
Nice.
I went ahead and got the vinyl on the CD. I know most folks are a little hesitant to buy it, and I mean, I totally get that. If you're a fan who already has this on CD, I could see why you would want to, either forego it or just, kind of wait to get it. Yeah. Because I don't have it in my collection. Right. I want this show.
Yeah. Sure.
I do think that they could have dug a little deeper.
I think they could have.
Even though I don't think I want to see something from the 70s. We just got Paris from the Destroyer box set.
70s, yeah.
We got something from the early 2000s on the last off the soundboard. I really hope they can make their way to the 80s.
See, that's where I was sort of kind of hoping for. In my mind, like, what would really be the ultimate to me, or something that would truly surprise me and that would really impress me, would be something like around 1980 with, or 81 with Eric Carr and Ace. Like, think about like something from Australia.
Sydney, Australia, 1980.
Honestly, if you're going to take one that's partially from a DVD, I would take the Kissology. You know what I'm talking about. If you have the Kissology, what is it, volume? Is that 1 or 2?
Volume 2.
They have that Sydney, Australia show with Eric Carr and Ace, and that to me would have been a huge, like, the perfect sequel.
I didn't even think about that.
To the first one with Eric and Ace. Here we have a different Eric and Ace. It pretty much offers the same thing, but on a completely another level. Because if you go back and just listen to the audio,
dude, that show.
Shot the video. That show, for some reason, the songs were like way upbeat. Everyone was on fire.
Paul's microphone had that.
It had that really cool tone to it.
Blown out sound. The way he was singing Detroit Rock City was pretty special. It was just
and then the songs sounded completely different with Eric Carr.
Eric Carr.
That is something that something like that is what to me this series should have been.
Yeah,
but. Again, there's still more to come.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if maybe it's too early to do.
It could be.
You're saying it's you were saying earlier how it was a little too, early. Maybe it's a little too early to do something like that.
Yeah.
But I guess I would say for anybody out there who's a little disappointed with this, and I totally, even though I myself am not disappointed, I can see why somebody would be disappointed. Yeah. My response to that would be to wait, because this is going to be a series. Clearly, they're doing more than one. They're doing it semi-regularly. Clearly, you never know what we're going to get. So they could pull out anything. Yes, at any time.
Just to add this, I was surprised of how soon they announced it after, because with Kiss, they're okay with giving us something every once in a while to hold us off if they're not going to give us a new studio album. This is like something that I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, because they released one last year. There was one this year. I could really get with this.
Yeah, this is a series. We could look forward to this.
I was like, this is something that I'm really going to be, sort of paying attention to, and seriously glad that Kiss is doing something like this. And even, this is so trivial, but when I look on Spotify, and I see bands, like AC/DC, Iron Maiden, Alice Cooper, and they've got albums up to date. Judas Priest, they're still releasing music, and Kiss is left behind in 2012.
Yeah.
And even though it's live stuff, I want to see that they're still releasing music in some form. That's why it's important to me. is that we're getting music.
Yeah, I was on Spotify at some point here in the last few weeks, and I went to Kiss, of course, and it said, latest release, Lick It Up from the upcoming Off the Soundboard.
Yeah, that looks cool.
And I'm like, here we go. Something to look forward to. Something.
It's creating an engagement for people who use these platforms, because I was excited when I saw it. I was like, but a lot of other people who don't collect vinyl, or they're young fans, and Spotify is their main source of music. I'm like, that's what they need to be doing, releasing something new that they can advertise to people. Like, this is kind of a long time.
I'm actually that's a really good point to bring up, because when they do stuff like that, it really helps them get more money. More money, but more like, I don't know. Not views, but like...
Well, it's just more engagement.
Engagement. It puts them out there a little more, because when the first Off the Soundboard came out, I had just started... I'd never really used Spotify. I was mostly into records and CDs. Same. And then when I was putting this room together, I didn't have my CDs and turntable and records, so I was like, well, while I put my Kiss room together, I want to listen to Kiss, so I'll get Spotify to do it that way. Yeah. And so that's how I started listening to Spotify, and then kind of just kept it around for when I want to listen to Kiss on the go.
Absolutely.
Like that. But just wanted to keep up with like looking at the numbers and stuff, because you can look at the top 5 like streamed Kiss songs. Yes. And when the first Off the Soundboard came out, when they did the Annie documentary,
right?
Those things.
It was a boost.
it was a boost, because I was watching songs jump like 10 million. Plus streams. I think I Was Made for Loving You is approaching 500 million streams on Spotify. That's insane.
Yeah.
And I remember when it was only 400, and now it's almost 500. That's almost 100 million streams. True. So, and I know that streams don't equal sales, and I know that people will have their say on whether streaming is, valid or not. And I don't care about that. I'm just saying that, hey, people are listening to Kiss.
Yeah.
I Was Made for Loving You is the #1 song for Kiss on Spotify, and it gets thrown in all kinds of rock and roll playlists.
Oh, absolutely.
Heaven's on Fire, I think, is also up there. And it makes me wonder if when they released the first Off the Soundboard, the first 2 singles they released were I Was Made for Loving You and Heaven's on Fire on Spotify. And guess what? And guess what 2 of the top 5 5 played songs on Spotify are?
Yes.
Heaven's on Fire and I Was Made for Loving You.
Exactly.
So I think that plays a part. They released Lick It Up for this new one.
Oh, yeah.
One of the top 5 most streamed songs on Spotify, Lick It Up. They can go to that and say, hey, what songs are being heard the most?
They're taking advantage of what's already there.
Yes, and that's smart. Very, very smart. Because then what happens is you have people that will listen to rock music. You can find Kiss popping up in Motley Crue playlists. I listen to Motley Crue. I listen to Ozzy Osbourne playlists. And you'll find Kiss coming in with Heaven's on Fire and I Was Made for Loving You and different songs. So I wonder if they're kind of using that as a way to kind of gauge this.
Good point.
It'd be smart because, for fans who are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s who may not use Spotify, Kiss can already guarantee on getting their money.
Sure.
Kiss doesn't need to put extra money into marketing to you and I or to some other Kiss fans because we're already going to pre-order. We're already going to get it.
Yeah.
What are you doing to engage the average and casual fan? Because those are the ones, honestly, where Kiss will, bring the most in. When you go see Kiss in concert,
it's mostly
average
people.
I'm always baffled when Paul says, how many people have never seen us live? Yeah. I look around and all the hands in the air. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
50 years and you guys have never seen this band once? I've seen them 13 times, or 12 times. Some folks have seen them hundreds of times.
Yeah.
You haven't seen them once? Come on, it's crazy. But there's always new people coming in.
It's the general public.
Yeah. I also noticed, real quick, as we're ending our Off the Soundboard discussion, I also was kind of doing some, in my notes I had that on Kiss 40, they use a live version of Deuce on disc 2. And that version of Deuce also comes from 04, the instant live CDs.
Cool.
I couldn't figure out which show it was. So if somebody knows which version of Deuce they used for Kiss 40, but basically on Kiss 40 they had like 2 songs or 1 song from every album, live and studio.
Yeah. And
then once they got towards the later years, since there wasn't as many studio albums, they started pulling from different tours and different shows, and they threw one in from the instant live. So I thought that was worth mentioning. But anyway, we'll move on to the next topic because I know that there's so much to talk about that's happening in the Kiss world. But the one thing I wanted to take a look at was just the scope of Kiss's touring in 2022. And as of now, take a look at what we have scheduled, because I mean, obviously with COVID, you never know what's
happening.
You never know what's going to happen. And tomorrow, I believe it's tomorrow, which of course tomorrow at the day of this filming, which is this recording, which is January 30th.
Yeah.
Actually, real quick, January 30th, 1973, Kiss played their first concert.
Yeah.
Kiss played their first concert at the Popcorn Club in New York.
That's insane.
So that's, whatever. Just we'll acknowledge that.
Very cool.
January 31st, I believe, 2019 was the first date of the End of the Road Tour.
Yeah.
So it's been 3 years since this End of the Road Tour started. Obviously, it was supposed to have ended way back in July, but thanks to COVID, which nobody can predict, nobody could have predicted, nobody can
Can't do nothing about it.
Can't do anything about it. It just is what it is. But it's been 3 years since this tour started.
Damn.
And there's been a lot of rescheduled dates. We have some new dates that we're going to discuss and talk about. We have the rest of 2022 to look at. So let's just take a look at the tour dates that Kiss has scheduled right now in 2022. So from March 19th to April 9th, Kiss will be doing their Australian tour, as far as we know.
As far as we know. I'm quite skeptical.
You're quite skeptical?
Just because of how serious Australia has taken the pandemic. It seems like they've had a lot of issues there, as we all have, but they've also been really tight on stuff like that.
Okay.
So they've really got the brunt of it, just in every direction, in every way.
Well,
I really hope they get to see this tour, because I'll be so sad for them if they don't, because you hear certain things, they might they're going back right on schedule. No, they're going to skip Australia altogether, and they're just going to go straight to the last show. And I'm like, man, for Australia's sake, I hope they get.
It would be a real bummer if they didn't go to Australia, because
they've been
Australia's
the ringer.
I mean, yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I know that there have been issues with both COVID, the pandemic, and fires, and lots of different things happening there. But Kiss is huge in Australia, and the Australian Kiss Army is huge.
Yeah.
And it'd be a real shame if they didn't get to go to Australia. If they do go to Australia, and it does happen, for the April 6th and April 9th shows, Wolfmother is on the bill alongside Kiss.
That's cool.
And I don't know if anybody's talking about that.
I have not heard that.
I was looking at the tour dates and was kind of just clicking around and saw Wolfmother come up and had flashbacks of Guitar Hero for a moment. Woman, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, that's like a perfect open.
That's really cool. Yeah, I mean...
Well, great that they're getting a rock and roll band to open, just period. But, like, Wolfmother's solid. I don't listen to them actively, but, like, they're good rock band.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, that's
classic
that's
rock
a really
sound.
cool pairing that you probably wouldn't either suspect, and like I said, I haven't really heard much talk about it. Maybe because we're all kind of wondering if it's going to happen or not, these shows in Australia, but that's... So
that was in Australia, Wolfmother?
In Australia, April 6th and April 9th, for the Australian dates. Assuming that happens, from March 19th, April 9th, they'll be in Australia, and then from April 20th to May 7th, so just for a few weeks, they'll be in South America. May 11th is the start of the rescheduled dates. They'll have a few days break after South America. May 11th, they'll be in Milwaukee, and then the next night, they'll be in Dayton, Ohio.
That's us.
That's us. Finally, we were gonna see them October 16th and 17th.
Correct.
Back to back. The 16th went great, and then on the way to the 17th, the show on the 17th, we got word that Frank had passed. The show had been canceled, rightfully so. We get it. So now that date will be on May 12th. What's so special about May 12th?
Well, Eric Singer's birthday is on May 12th.
Eric Singer's birthday is on May 12th.
But that's not the only thing, and I think you knew I was going to bring this up. But I have a theory that's not going to come true. But if you think about the time, the scheduling here, I feel like it may have been somewhat strategic, because the Indianapolis Kiss Expo happens in 1 month, typically around the same 1 or 2 weekends during May every year. Now, we haven't had a Kiss Expo in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, like 2 years.
Because of the pandemic. Now, in May is when they always do the expos, and they usually do it around Mother's Day or Eric Singer's birthday. And they're, and if they're continuing with the expos this year, which I hope they are, because that's something that we look forward to every year.
We've missed them.
Yeah, I'll say Kiss is going to be in Indiana in the same exact time period as they would usually do the expos. And I'm like, I'm wondering, did they strategically do this to where maybe the whole band can be there? Now that's wishful thinking because the band's never, since the KISS conventions, they haven't really done that, where all 4 current KISS members are showing up.
Right.
But I'm thinking, in the back of my mind, I'm subtly hoping that maybe the following weekend, because that's on a Thursday.
Yes.
So
Thursday, May 12th.
Thursday, I think Friday and Saturday and Sunday, like the weekends, follow.
So you're saying
directly.
KISS May
why
12th.
Why not KISS do the concert, stay in Indiana for 2 more days, do the
It's
expo?
not Indiana.
What's that? Oh, sorry. I just got a correction. It's not in Indiana.
No.
It's going to be in Ohio.
Yeah,
But to me, that's close enough.
You're saying close enough. Well,
I think
now...
it could be. Because, because they have a couple days, because, the concert's on Thursday, they got a couple days to do whatever they want, go to Indiana.
But on May 14th, they're going to be playing in Hartford, Connecticut.
Look, they're going to make it work. For me, they're going to make it work. I really want the... Well, I'm serious. I mean, I know it's not going to happen, but I'm thinking there's some way that they could pull it off, because of the coincidence of when the expo always falls. It's almost always on Mother's Day weekend or Eric's Years, and I'm like, it's too close.
Well,
they're going to be too close to Indianapolis.
I hope that you're right.
I'm not. But I'd like to be the first one to call it out and say I told you so. If on the very off chance that it happens.
If it happens, tickets for that are going to be like $1,000, like they would be for a meet and greet.
It's very unfortunate.
Are you going to pay $1,000?
Yeah, is that a question?
No, I was just asking.
Now, how far away is Connecticut? Because they're going to have to figure that out.
Connecticut's pretty far away. But, so, okay.
Shelf that. Forget I even mentioned it.
So, let's say it happens. Or I don't know, maybe it does. Either way.
At least get Tommy and Eric.
For sure, at least get Tommy, Eric, or Bruce or somebody. But, okay, so they'll be, for sure, as of now, playing in Dayton May 12th. And then May 14th, they'll be playing at Hartford, Connecticut. This is also a rescheduled show.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, though. Guess who else is going to be playing near Hartford, Connecticut on May 14th, 2022?
I have no idea.
Ace Frehley.
Oh, really?
Ace Frehley.
Solo?
Yes.
Okay.
Ace and Ace's band
Wow.
will be playing 40 miles, less than an hour away from KISS. KISS will be playing the Xfinity Center in Hartford, Connecticut.
On the same day?
On the same day.
Oh,
May
wow.
14th. And then 40 miles away, Ace is going to be playing Toad's Palace.
On the same night.
Don't be surprised if there are reports of earthquakes that night, because I'm not sure that the foundation of the earth can handle that much rock. You're going to have KISS
You're going to hear Detroit Rock City and Love Gun playing at the same time.
You're going to be hearing Shock Me and, yeah, I Was There for Loving You, like, all at the same time. So...
That's... Oh, man, as a KISS fan, I would feel so conflicted.
You're like,
because, like, I've seen KISS 1,000 times, and I rarely do we ever get to see Ace in person or concert, at all. So if that were happening in Indianapolis, would you be going to see KISS or would you be going to see Ace solo? Being that we've not seen Ace nearly as many times as KISS.
I would go see KISS because I'm getting a better show, and I'm more of a KISS fan than I am an Ace fan.
Ace fan, right.
When Ace was playing in Indianapolis recently, it was between Ace and Slipknot.
Yeah, when he played with Alice Cooper, right?
And I had to go see Slipknot because I knew I was going to get a better show at Slipknot, and I'm a much bigger Slipknot fan than I am
Ace Frehley fan.
An Ace Frehley fan.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say I'm not an Ace fan at all. That's not to say that I would never go see Ace live. I would love to see Ace live. It's
We've
just
seen
that
him once.
if it's an either or, so far it's been the or.
Right.
Well,
that'll be interesting to see what the KISS crowd looks like that night, or the Ace Frehley crowd. If one of them is going to be deficient than the other, and I'm kind of worried how that's going to play out.
We'll see what happens, but I thought it was really cool that both bands were billed, or both KISS and Ace will be playing in the same region, less than an hour apart on the same night. Of course, that happened because the KISS had rescheduled shows.
Right.
Now there is, as far as I know, right now, no rescheduled date for the West Palm Beach show.
Still,
they had because they rescheduled Hartford, Dayton, Milwaukee. There is no rescheduled date for the West Palm Beach show.
I wonder why that is.
But they are playing May 19th at the Rockville 2022 festival at Miami Beach, Florida.
That, yeah.
So they're going to be playing at the festival at Miami so far. They're not playing at West Palm Beach.
I think they might just substitute one for the other, being that it's...
I don't know. I mean, so far...
Maybe that would be smart.
There is a show. I missed the show in North Carolina. They're playing Raleigh, North Carolina, May 17th.
Yeah.
2 days before Miami Beach. So I don't know. I don't know if the one in West Palm Beach will be canceled and they'll just play Miami Beach, or if they're going to somehow work the other one. Maybe they couldn't get a date scheduled for Miami Beach or West Palm Beach yet. I'm not sure. It's so far it seems that Kiss has been really good at keeping their word at playing these shows and fulfilling their requirement, their duty, if you will. Even if people are saying, "Oh, this tour is dragging on," or people are saying, "Oh, look at Kiss extending their tour." Look, nobody asked for this. Nobody asked for this tour to go on this long. The tour was going to start,
and I'm grateful.
The tour was only supposed to be 2.5 years long.
Yeah.
And now it's extended to at least 3 as of tomorrow for them last week.
And they still have a whole Australian
And we still have at least, we have June 1st to July 21st. They'll be in Europe. So they do have a European tour to do for the entire month of June and most of July.
Now, is there any chance that they can go into the next year? So, because, if they put off Australia again, then that would have to be the case. But if they don't, is that the end? Assuming everything goes as scheduled now, will they be done by 2023?
The last scheduled show right now that we know of is July 21st, 2022 in Amsterdam. Now, that, of course, is not going to be...
the final show.
I doubt it's going to be the last show, exactly. But as far as the main tour, the last show we have scheduled is July 21st in Amsterdam, and this is, unless something happens, we can expect Kiss to be, wrapped up touring in July. They may do the Kiss cruise in October. Yeah. If they have to do the rescheduled Australian dates, they have August, September, November, and December to do that of 2022. I don't see Kiss extending into 2023. Which is a shame in a way because that's their 50th anniversary. You're going to get to 49 and 9/10.
Maybe they play their last show on New Year's to make it 50 years.
Maybe.
That would be
50 years would technically be, I'm not sure how you want to gauge it because...
If we're just going by calendar year...
Well, I was going to say calendar year would be January 1st. Their first concert would be January 30th. The release of the first album will be February. The 18th of February.
Yeah.
So, you could cut that...
You could stretch it.
Any way you slice it, right? Any way you slice it. Kiss will be reaching 50 years next year. We'll see how they handle it. But right now, we can expect Kiss to be touring pretty extensively.
Still.
Assuming that, Australian dates don't get canceled. The dates here in the States don't get canceled. There's no more band members and crew catching COVID. There's no deaths related to the band or the friends and family thereof. So we'll just have to play it by ear.
Well, if there's one... setting the circumstances that led to this aside, if there's one positive thing about our show getting rescheduled into the next year, is that we might be seeing Kiss in the final year of them as a touring band.
Yeah.
Had they not rescheduled the show, then we would have left it all behind in 2021. So at least, we get our last show, presumably, in the final year of Kiss as a touring act, and that's kind of cool.
We will have seen one of the last 100 Kiss shows.
Yeah,
that they've ever played.
One of the last American
shows.
As a touring act. That's again setting the circumstances that led to that aside.
Right.
They're just looking at it in somewhat of a positive light.
And
kind of cool.
And I want to make one thing clear because I have heard people starting to get all huffy about this tour being extended and them drawing it out.
Why would anyone complain about that?
Because people, they don't want to take into consideration, they just want to go off their emotions. And like I said, nobody asked for this tour to be drawn out this long.
Yeah,
Kiss said, we're going to go out on tour, we're going to hit as many places as we can, and then we're done. And then a pandemic hit, and they said, well, I think it's important that Kiss does this. I think it's important that Kiss plays Australia. It's important that they play the shows in Dayton and Milwaukee and North Carolina.
Absolutely.
And it's important that they do that because, they've always been the band to keep their word. They have canceled plenty of shows in the past and different things have come up,
right.
But Kiss has always been the band. We are going to fulfill our duty to you. We said we're going to play the show. we're going to do it.
Especially on the last tour.
Even if it means people are going to be upset, even if it means that we're going to be the brunt of more jokes talking about Kiss on a never-ending string of farewell tours, even if different people want to poke fun, they know that they're doing it for people like us, and they're doing it for people like you.
They don't have to.
They do not have to. They don't do anything.
They didn't have to come back to Dayton.
When the pandemic hit and they stopped doing shows in March or April of 2020, they could have said, "Look, guys, nobody anticipated this, but for the health and safety of us and the fans, we're going to go ahead and conclude the tour. We're going to, for the safety of everybody, cancel all tours. There will be no end of the road tour. We thank you for supporting us these last 40, almost 50 years. Thank you and good night."
Yeah.
And guess what? They could live happily ever after with all their money, never see any of us fans or do anything ever again, live with their families and be happy for the rest of their lives. And that's not what they're doing. They're getting on planes. They're doing COVID test after COVID test. They're still slapping on the boots and makeup to try and...
They're going out of their way.
They're trying to go out of their way.
Yeah.
There are so many fans I've been hearing all over social media, which I need to get away from. I really do. I really do need to get away from it.
It's a problem.
There are people that are like, it's a real shame this tour just piddled out the way it did. Man, this tour started out so hot, now it's just fizzing out. No, it's not.
What does that even mean?
No, it's not. This tour, the fact that Kiss says, you know what? No, we're still going strong. They're going to do it. They're going to finish out this tour. Yeah. Whether or not Kiss extends in 2023, I doubt it.
I hope not for their sake.
But, for their sake, I hope that they're able to just, do the shows as needed. We saw the one in October in Tinley Park. It was fantastic. Kiss did what they needed to do. I think they had already had word that Fran had passed, and they still chose to, pull the show together. They're getting rescheduled. We have dates, festivals, all kinds of stuff to look forward to in 2022. Off the Soundboard, we have Gene's Kiss museum. He's doing a Kiss museum in Vegas.
Yes.
That was one thing I also want to touch base here, but we're getting into, I'm not sure how long. I'm not sure how long this is going on.
And if I ever make my way down to Vegas, I'll see it.
I really hope that it happens, and I hope that I can even get out there because I've always wanted to go to Vegas to do Monster Mini Golf.
Yes.
I think there's a Kiss limo service. Just to, have a vacation.
Do we have any idea of when that's supposed to happen?
So I didn't have it in my notes because, like I said, I know we had so much to talk about, but let me see if I can get a quick Google search up. Yeah, so I'm on Ultimate Classic Rock right now, and it doesn't really have too many details. It says when it opens in the spring, the museum will sit right next to the Glow in the Dark Kiss by Monster Mini Golf indoor course.
So the next couple months,
the Kiss-themed Utopia will total 15,000 square feet. So it looks like it's going to be Gene's private collection.
Right.
Of course, the Vegas residency was canceled. That Kiss was going to be playing in Vegas for residency. That has been canceled. So we'll see when this museum happens. But as of now, I'm not seeing any dates. It just says
spring.
It just says in the spring. It will be attached or near Kiss Monster Mini Golf. It seems to be from Gene's personal collection. 3 tractor trailers full of stuff.
Wow.
Has been brought to the museum.
I've always wanted to see Gene's collection in person. That's been one of those weird things that, like, we're watching the Gene Simmons Family Jewels, and his office is just this incredible, museum essentially of all of his merch. I'm like, that would be so cool to see, and he's letting people see it.
I would love to see Gene be there too. How cool would it be to I mean, not every day, all day, 8 hours a day as like a curator, but imagine. I think they were there at like the Kiss Coffee House events. You had members show up, so I think it'd be really cool to have Gene almost there, maybe for the opening day or the closing day or a special day. To have Gene there, that'd be a really cool event. So one thing I also want to see happen in 2022, if at all possible, you mentioned Expos coming back. I would love to see the Fanboy Expo with Peter Criss happen.
Oh my gosh,
Peter Criss, we were looking for, we had bought tickets for, had to get refunded for them, but we had bought tickets to the Fanboy Expo in Indianapolis, where Peter Criss, Edward Furlong, and James DeBello were going to be guests.
True.
Peter Criss is one of the few members we have not met. Would love to meet Peter Criss, shake his hand, say thank you, get an autograph. I'm a drummer, so Peter Criss is one of the 3 main guys for me.
Yeah.
I have autographed drum heads of Eric Singer, and I have Eric Carr drum heads. I don't have a Peter Criss drum head. I would love to have that.
Absolutely. I kind of forgot about that, and the reason why it was canceled in the first place, it doesn't look like right now it's going to be something, but that can happen. But that was later in the year anyway. So I feel like hopefully within the next few months, maybe they'll reschedule something. But I'm glad you reminded me because I kind of forgot.
Yeah, I hope that Fanboy Expo happens. I hope they reach out to Peter, and I hope Peter's in a position where he can still do it. I know that. I hope he knows that Peter has lots of fans here in Kiss Army, Indiana.
Absolutely.
That would, and I'm sure the surrounding states that would love to meet or see Peter again. Did you see that drum solo that Peter did?
I
that was posted.
I saw that it was there and then didn't watch it.
Check it out. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty great. It was really cool to see Peter Criss playing drums.
Yeah, I feel like once every 6 or 7 years we get some little clip of Peter playing the drums.
And it was.
I want more Peter content.
It was great. It really was.
Yeah.
It was, I think
Tom
Morello said it best. Tom Morello said, the jungle rhythm,
yeah.
the jungle kind of style playing is definitely right up Peter's alley, and he still has that, and it's cool to see him playing and having fun. He had lights around his drum kit, just
nice.
You could tell him that it was.
I wish Peter would release something.
Yeah.
I mean, or just do something like Paul's Soul Station, just to have his own little musical thing where he does whatever he wants to do on the drums, and it can, I would love that. But
that'd be great.
Peter's doing whatever he wants, and that's good.
Yeah. But as far as content goes, that's all I kind of had was... Actually, there is one thing I wanted to get to real quick. Now, this is something we mentioned Spotify a little earlier. Mm-hmm. So I was on Spotify wanting to listen to some Kiss. I think I typed in War Machine was the song I wanted to hear. And, of course, there's the version from Creatures of the Night. There's, different versions. And I saw this version of War Machine with an album cover that I didn't recognize.
Interesting.
An album cover that I hadn't committed to my memory. And I'm like, what is that? And so I clicked on it, and it took me to this thing called Kiss the Ritz on Fire. And that's actually a popular name, or a name of a popular bootleg that's been circulated.
Yes.
And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I've heard of it, but why is it on Spotify? And I looked, and it is under the official Kiss account. It's listed as Kiss artist.
It's on Spotify?
If you click on the Ritz on Fire and click under artist where it says Kiss, it will redirect you to the official Kiss Spotify page. But when you scroll through their albums, where it should be, you get all their studio albums, their live albums. Of course, you don't get Sonic Boom or Kiss Rocks Vegas, but all the albums are there. But this Kiss the Ritz on Fire is not. So you have to actually search for it to see it, and it will pop up. It's listed under Kiss, but you cannot find it under Kiss's actual page.
That's so strange.
How strange is that? It's the only bootleg I can find on Spotify. I'm not sure how it got there, how it's under the official Kiss profile, but it's not actually included on the albums. I have no idea.
Someone must have taken the bootleg and uploaded it themselves and just linked Kiss's thing to it. Because I know you can upload music.
Yes,
there.
But it has to go through a certain system. Only a couple companies, I think, actually monitor.
It might get removed, frankly.
It might get removed. I mean, it's on there now. It was on there a couple weeks ago. You can check it at the time of this recording when this is uploaded on YouTube. But I thought, wow, how weird is that?
Well, I'm going to check that out.
Guess what? It gets even weirder. So you can look at Spotify will list the date of when albums were released and different release dates. Yeah. The release date for the Kiss Ritz on Fire is April 18th, 1974. And this Ritz on Fire is very clearly 1980s Kiss.
Yeah.
They're playing Fits Like a Glove. They're playing Crazy Nights. It's on the Crazy Nights tour.
Yeah.
They're playing...
Like late 80s.
It's very, you can tell by Eric Carr's snare, Paul's voice, all those things. The songs, like I said, scream 80s. And yet, it's listed as April 18th, 1974. Now, does that date sound familiar to you? What was Kiss doing? April 18th. 1974.
Speaking of bootlegs, they were playing in Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee,
yes. Which, brings up the new topic.
Yeah, which brings up the next...
Great segment.
By the way, that's it. Yeah, there's no wrapping up a nice little bow. That's it. I mean, there's a Kiss bootleg on Spotify that's listed under Kiss, but not found on the page with a 1974 release date listed, even though it's from the 80s.
Yes.
But
what's going on? I don't know.
But what's going on? I don't know. But I can say that Kiss on April 18th, 74, they weren't playing the Ritz in 80s Kiss. It was 70s Kiss playing in Memphis, Tennessee. Which brings us to this right here. So, Jeb, what were you doing?
Well, a couple weeks ago, found myself in Bloomington, Indiana, for anyone who cares. We're from southern Indiana, and I like to collect records.
I do too.
Yeah, so I guess we're both kind of into records. So I went to this record store in Bloomington, and it's always no matter where I go, I always check the Kiss section just to see if they have anything, or just to look through. Like, oh, they have this copy of that, blah blah blah. They had a couple copies of Alive, maybe a Destroyer. And in the Kiss section was this completely blank white jacket.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw the sticker on it, and it said Kiss Black Diamond. What does it say on it?
It says Kiss Black Diamond, Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah, it's just a sticker. And I picked it up, and I was like, what the hell is this? And of course I opened it up and realized that it's a bootleg from 1974. There's no album artwork whatsoever. It does have a label that has the songs, the track lists,
yep,
and all that. But I was dumbfounded because, I'm not keen on bootlegs anyway. I've just never been that interested in buying them, or just kind of make me feel weird about buying a bootleg. But I saw it and I just was like, okay, I guess I'll buy that.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know whether it was gonna have anything on it. Like, I thought it was kind of a scam. Because if there's no album jacket, anyone can just print a label on it. And I was like, well, it's like $15. Maybe it's the coolest thing ever. So I bought it, took it home and played it, and it was pretty legit.
It's from the Lafayette Music Room in Memphis, Tennessee. Kiss was playing there just right after. This is right after the debut album came out. So Kiss is fresh off, like
they're hungry.
They're hungry. They're raw.
Live Kiss.
So cool to see this bootleg. I'm sure many fans have already seen it, already heard about it.
Right.
I just thought it was really cool and worth mentioning, since it's actually listed. The date for this is listed for the one in the 80s. I don't know. It was so random. But anyway, so yeah, this is really cool. It's a recording of the radio broadcast.
Right. Yes.
It's the radio. You can actually hear the guitar warbling, and it's. Not the most perfect audio.
It was recorded from, originally put to tape, and that's why that vibrato comes in. But yeah, it's so cool to know that someone recorded it from from their local radio station in Tennessee, and it has the local guy's voice in between some of the songs.
Yeah, it's almost like it's
a radio
drop
show.
the needle, and it's like a radio show.
Yeah.
And the DJ's there, and
it was amazing.
Put your two lips together and kiss. It's great. Anyway, I think we'll wrap it up here, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on the first episode of Kiss Army Things in 2022. Yes. Episode 17 overall. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. We have new episodes coming out every 2 weeks. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And you have anything else to add as we wrap up here?
Not much. Thank you for the subscribers, 200. Happy New Year. And we'll see you next episode.
Yep, we appreciate it. We'll see you in the next episode. Subscribe to Kiss Army Things on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. Thank you guys very much for joining us on Kiss Army Things, episode 17. My name is Xander.
I'm Jeb.
Thank you.